So this person noticed that there's many individuals that have been taken by the beast. There's more that have been taken by the serpent instead of learning the ways of the serpent. They've been taken because they were not utilizing they were not able to tap into, it feels like, their intelligence or their ability to learn. I think it's more so their ability to learn, their ability to receive. They ignored that aspect of their mind to receive. What part of the brain is that? Let me see. Is it what is that called? Frontal cortex, maybe? No. Let me see. The part of the brain that receives. Escúchame. Thank you for your patience. All right, let's see. Oh, that's the thalamus is the part of the brain that acts as a relay center for sensory information, receiving signals from the body and sending them in correct areas of the brain for processing. Okay, let me see what else. Is that receiving information though? Receive sensory input. Cerebral cortex. And the parietal lobes also receive sensory input, while the occipital lobe processes visual information. The temporal lobe receives auditory information, and other areas handle touch, taste, and smell. So I don't know if I'm pronouncing this one right, but the occipital is occipital lobe is the processing of visual information. So it's those two lobes. Those lobes. The occipital lobe and the temporal lobe receives visual and auditory information. And other areas handle touch, taste, and smell. So I'm really referencing the auditory and visual because that's the information that we actually take in, and it could be stored in our subconscious mind within the context that I'm talking. Okay, so people don't learn from their interaction with beasts. You're supposed to learn from it because that's a part of learning about spiritual warfare. It's a part of learning how to conquer and overcome those energies because they are everywhere. So until you learn the serpent, you cannot defeat the serpent. You must learn the serpent's ways first. And then you end up partnering with the serpent when you learn the serpent's ways. Okay. And, wait, I'm having multiple thoughts here. People are not, many people do not take the time to receive in order to create. If you're going to consume, at least use the consumption for a purpose. Transmute it is what Spirit is saying for being here. Okay, so the other aspect of this message is really about learning the serpent's ways. When we do that, we can help our brothers and sisters, or we can let them go. Because there's some people that want to be helped. They need help, and they know they do, and they'll receive it if someone's there to give it, because so many people don't have nobody there. There's nobody there they can ask. There's no one there that knows sometimes. Sometimes they have so many questions, but there's no one around them that even knows how to answer. So even if they did ask, it would be like speaking to a brick wall, right? But when you take the time out to learn the ways of the serpent, understand the ways of the beast, then you can see when your brother and sister has been taken by that energy. Okay? And that's not something that you want to get took by, even though we do get took by it, but you have to learn how to get away. You have to learn how to I'm seeing a snake charmer. I always find that very interesting. Have you ever watched that before? Those people that are like, I usually see people who are in India somewhere. Okay, they probably speak Punjabi over there, and they literally charm the snake, and they have this snake in a trance, and they hypnotize, and they swerving just like the snake. I find that's magical. Wow. And so essentially that's what we're meant to learn how to do. It doesn't have to be literally, however, it's figuratively speaking. When we know the enemy, that's how you conquer the enemy, when you know the enemy. So when you know that your brother and sister has been took by the enemy, you know when they are healthy to be around, and you know when they are not. You know. Spirit will speak to you, especially if you're a seer. Spirit will tell you, don't go over there. Or Spirit will tell you, yeah, it's safe, go ahead. It's good for you, go ahead. It makes sense. And Spirit will also tell you no. And when Spirit speaks, listen. I know I do. Yeah. Okay? Because, you got to do the right thing, like they said. So, now when it comes to this energy, we're so powerful. Oh my goodness, we are such a beautiful people. It's just that these things that Spirit shares with me, I never learned this in school. If we learned these things in school, this world would not be like this. If we learned about the spiritual aspect of our lives from a child, like a young one, I'm talking tiny tots, okay? The world would not be like this. I'll tell you that right now. Because it would be like a custom. It would be a tradition to know these things. And if you didn't, you'd be looked at like something's wrong with you. That's where we need to get to, that point where if you don't know about your soul and you don't pay no mind to your spirit, like what rock you been under? You know how people say that? When like there's some type of popular movie or song and they're like, you didn't see that? You didn't hear that? What rock you been under? That's how knowing oneself and all of these gems from Spirit should be viewed if someone does not know them. To make people feel ashamed, to make sure that they study and know. That's how it should be. Because people are putting on a pedestal things that in them instead of things that lift them up. And it's very flipped. The script has been flipped. It's inside out. It's really sad, actually. The more I think about it, and I think about it from so many different perspectives all the time, because this is just how my mind works, and these are things that I think about because they matter to me. And just to think about how many individuals have been taken by the beast instead of learning the ways of the beast to use their wisdom to their advantage, the beast begins to work for them. That's a real thing. When you learn the ways, when you learn the ways of the beast cannot take you. You can't get took by it because you know better. It's those who don't know better who get took. And they get took the easiest, the quickest, the swiftest. I don't even know if swiftest is a word. I don't think so, but I'm going to just leave it there. The power that we have as masculine and feminine energies is so grandiose, because when we learn the ways of the serpent, we conquer it. When you conquer what was once your enemy, how can I say? I almost want to say is that right to say? I think I want to say it. The consciousness of the enemy is a part of you. It's like knowing the ways of the enemy. Just like how it's making me think about boxers when they box, and they'll watch over and over their opponent that they're about to fight. They will watch them over and over and over and over, and they gonna check the moves. They gonna check them, and they gonna be like, oh, that's what you do? Okay, you go to the left? Okay, I'm gonna give you an uppercut when you I'm saying anything, but but I you know what I'm saying. They checking the technique so that they can counter it, basically. And once they learn their enemy's ways, they know that they have the upper hand. Now, just say, for instance, the other person, they just too cocky and high and mighty to think that they can't get mollywopped, and they don't even look at their opponent. But the other one, the other one was paying attention to them. But the other one chose not to look. Who you think is more likely to win? It would be the one who was studying, the one who studied. This is why it's so important to study. It's very important to sit down and just allow your mind to flow and go and teach you. Allow yourself to teach you through your own experiences. You reflect, you learn. And now the power of us resides in our ability to understand the beast. Once you understand it, you know how to counter it. When we see that our brother and sister has a beast within them, some can be saved and some can't. And that's just it. You don't want to over complicate things. It's actually best to oversimplify. Sometimes certain things can't be oversimplified. However, I like to simplify things because it makes it easier for me to relay these informations, these messages. I mean, so yes, understanding the beast and learning the ways of the enemy changes. It's like a chemical reaction within you that you change. You transform when you learn, when you understand the ways of the enemy. And then the enemy works for you because even if you're not like evil or anything, it's the knowledge. That's why they say knowledge is power, because you have understanding. And having a relationship with spirit, no matter what anybody says, if spirit tells you no, don't go, there's a reason. Excuse me, there's a reason as to why spirit is saying no to you. There's a reason why when you think about a certain person, something don't feel right in your stomach. You know it's not right. That's why you don't go. Even if you know that you and a person would be absolutely perfect together, but if something don't feel right, you don't go. I mean, at least someone who trusts themselves won't go. Someone who trusts the love that they have for their spirit family that has been teaching them on a spirit level. You love them. You listen. You listen to who you love as long as they make sense. Because sometimes just because you love somebody don't mean they make sense. However, if you know that what is being spoken to you, I want to say what is being spoken unto you, as long as you know that it's true and it makes sense to you and it resonates, then yes, receive it. Use that, what is it called? Occipital lobe. It's so funny saying that. Use your occipital lobe to process visual information and your temporal lobe to receive auditory information. What blocks those? What blocks those distractions? Distractions. Right. That's right. Or just I can still say distractions, but when I think about that, I'm thinking about what you take in and what you hear, of course, visual and audio visual. Yeah. But if you're taking in a bunch of nonsense that's never ever going to help you with anything, I'm not saying everything got to be super serious all the time, and but if you're going to watch anything, learn something from it, because it helps you in life overall, and we can help each other when someone is still in that space to be assisted, because sometimes people are way too far gone to even assist, because they can't even receive you. And Spirit wants you to know that it is best to remove yourself away from those that can't receive you, because you'll be wasting your time. Okay? And if Spirit says no, don't go, regardless of what you might feel emotionally, use your logic. And you got to use both logic and intuition. However, you want to lean on that intuition, because that gut feeling says so much, because that's something that is very special. That's a sacred gift when we use our intuition, because you can't even call exactly all the time exactly why you feel the way you feel. But when you follow it, you do yourself very good. You do the body good, okay? You do yourself a disservice when you don't listen to your intuition. So please listen to her. Listen to her as she speaks. Intuition is a woman. Wisdom, she's a woman too. Wise. Not to say a man can't be wise, but when one taps into that wisdom, that's a portal. And women have portals. We are the portal. We are the portals. It's just that many women nowadays, their portals are full of creatures and demons and all types of things. Those are the ones that we already know who they are. I ain't even gonna go there. But yeah, the wisdom, that's feminine. That is creative as well. That's how you know it's feminine, because it's on the right side of the brain. It comes from the creative aspect of us. Let me make sure of that, because wisdom is wise. It's logic too. Hold on, because that's tickling my brain. Wait a minute. I'm just channeling, but I want to see what it says. Is wisdom considered feminine? Let's see. Okay. The first thing it says, no, wisdom itself is not a woman. Okay, we know that. I'm talking figuratively. Google's being so, googly. Okay, but it is personified as one in some religious and philosophical texts due to reasons like grammatical gender in the original language, as well as literary, and cultural traditions in Hebrew Bible. The word for wisdom is chokmah, is a grammatically feminine noun, leading to its use of female pronouns and personifications in texts like the book of Proverbs. I don't know why I just got stuck. The book of Proverbs, okay? Okay, so... Okay, I could be wrong, because it's not really giving a clear explanation wisdom can be, it's logical only if you understand it. You see, it's kind of, it's kind of mysterious, because if one can speak wisdom, and not everyone will understand. So the wisdom might not be logical to everyone. However, it is creative, because it's putting a thought together that is maybe unorthodox, non-traditional, not unusual. Yeah. So yeah. I just feel like you have to be creative to be wise. You have to have a certain level of creativity within you. So I feel like it comes from the right brain. Let me see. Does wisdom derive from the right brain? Right? I'm typing with one hand, that's why it's taking me so long. Let me see. It says, it is a misconception that wisdom resides solely in the right brain. While the right hemisphere is involved in the holistic and intuitive thinking that contributes to wisdom, okay, modern neuroscience indicates that wisdom is an emergent property that arises from the Integration. Okay, integrated. That makes sense to me because I see both ways in there. Coordinated activity of both the left and right hemisphere of the brain. Oh, well, that makes sense. Yes. So wisdom only comes from those who have harmony and wholeness within themselves. You're never going to get anything wise from someone who has not found wholeness. I've never thought about this before, but it's very special. So it is actually both, because that was tickling my brain, so I needed to see and understand. That makes me want to go deeper. But yes. Back to the message. We basically have the ability to bring each other back to ourselves. The only thing is that one must know their own wholeness before they can guide anyone else to theirs. Okay, so it is very beneficial for you to have harmony between the two when it comes to your masculine and feminine energy, regardless of if you are a man or a woman, or a masculine or feminine. Okay, we have this beautiful power to tap into each other, and we're like love doctors. We're love doctors, because when you're able to present someone a route to take to get back to their purest self, their purest form, that is love. That's love. That is love, because there's so many people that are so confused and lost, and they don't even know. They really don't, and it's sad. And they get caught up in a lot of nonsensical activities, just trying to be. But to be and not know who you are and what you really are is very difficult, right? It's like you would just keep on transforming into different things that you are around, trying to figure yourself out. It's like consciousness without experience. That's a baby. That's a baby. A baby that has like its first experiences. There's not many experiences in the beginning, so they start to just mimic. And we'll see babies kind of do gestures and make faces that they see. However, they don't have much experience, so they just mimic, right? They're not complex enough yet. So I'm just going to leave that there. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. If you deem this message as a message that you find purpose in for you in your life, as well as do you recognize the power that you have within you when you are whole? And do you recognize how you can help your brother and sister just off the strength of you understanding your own wholeness? And do you understand now that wisdom comes from both the feminine and masculine energy integrated with one another? The integration is necessary for wisdom to become from you. Because, okay, how can I say? Those who come up with like quotes and are able to write books from their own experience and stuff like that, that's someone who is whole. They have a sense of wholeness, and if you read their words and they resonate with you, and they strike a chord within your heart and they tickle your brain, you know that they have encountered the purest version of themselves and their wholeness. That's when you really know, like, when someone has found the truth within themselves, and not just from reading books, not just from reading books, but really within themselves, from their own sessions of self-reflection. Okay. So yes, that is it for this message. If this is an energy that you deem as suitable for you to walk with you on your journey, on your spiritual journey, drop it down in the comments below. I declare this is my future love, because this is a love message still, even though I was talking about the brain, and I'm talking about how we assist our brothers and sisters on earth. When we're whole, you help other individuals to align with their wholeness. However, you must have done the work. You must have done the work on your own before you can even do that. Because doing the work is like the initiation of being able to do God's work, and put it like that. Okay? So that's it for this message. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you feel in my vibe, especially if this message does resonate with you. To book a healthy conversation, you can by visiting www.milkhoneyRose.org. Also, you could join the membership here on YouTube for additional content. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.